Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my brothers and sisters. I want to say good morning and welcome to another Good Morning Grief Devotional. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So happy and excited to have this time and this opportunity to come to you today. This is the Good Morning Grief Devotional. It is the daily devotional that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how it is expressed on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. And that's why we say, good morning, good morning, good morning, because morning is a good thing. Hey, I want to thank you for joining us today and welcome you to this grief devotion. I hope your Friday was phenomenal. Your Saturday is going to be sensational. We decree it, we declare it already. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a wonderful day. And I'm glad to start it off in the presence and the power of the Lord and to dive into another grief devotional. Our grief quote from today comes from Oprah Winfrey, who says, lots of people want to ride with you in the limo. But what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo. But what you want is somebody who's willing to take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Y'all, today is day 203. We're going to talk about who will take the bus with me. Who will take the bus with me? Let's get into it. It's going to be quick today. Turns out that quite a few of our friends were of the fair weather variety. When the going got tough, they got going. Yeah, this is such a true statement. It can be such a hurtful statement as well. That one thing about grief, grief will let you know what's what and who's who. That grief will let you know it's who was really in your corner, right? And sometimes people they just have a hard time. Sometimes people got bad intentions and motives, but sometimes people just don't know what to do or how to do it. But one thing about grief, you're going to know and understand. You're going to discover who was fair, who was a fair weather friend, and who was not. You are going to discover when you navigate through your seasons of grief, right? Who was fair? You know what fair weather friends are, right? Those are the ones who want to ride in the limo with you. But when you say I ain't got the limo, I'm gonna take the bus. I love it because it said when the tough got going, when the goings get tough, they got going. That's the reality. You're gonna discover, you're gonna find that there are some people that you used to walk with in life that you're no longer walking with. Some people who you thought was down like four flat tires, right? That when the going got tough, they got going. But and that's okay, right? But you're really gonna find out when you go through seasons of grief, right? Who's 10 toes down, who's which. And some of the people that left is gonna surprise you. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna make you cry. But some of the people that stay, some of the people that come into your life, some of the people that you're now connected with, right? That's going to surprise you as well because you didn't see it. You didn't see that coming, right? And it's not a connection that you necessarily cultivated, but it's what God began to do in your season of grief. God knows how to fill in the gaps. God knows who to send and what to send. God knows some of you didn't know. Some of you all have only met me through this forum, right? Through this. You had no idea God was going to send Pastor Duncan your way. You had no idea that you was going to be connected to a 365-day grief devotion that will help you to take small steps that will help you to lead to great distances. You had no idea that we were going to talk and connect and do a one-on-one and have the opportunity to go together and grow together. You had no idea. And so God always fills in the gaps that whenever somebody leaves and exits and walk out your life, God always fills in the gaps. God will always fill in the gaps. Please hear me and understand what I'm saying. God will always fill in the gaps. So don't get too down on the people that didn't want to take the bus with you. Don't get too sad about the people that walked out your life. God will always fill in the gaps. And you got to remember that sometimes God does pruning. God is pruning. God is cutting some people away. God is allowing you to go through certain things. Certain things have to happen, right? So you have to know and understand that as you navigate through this thing called life. Check this out. Our culture doesn't teach people how to be present to grief. So it's no wonder that so few of our friends and family members have stuck around. Our culture, we've talked about this. Our culture just it's not it doesn't talk about grief. It's not aware of grief. It doesn't know how to deal with grief, right? Our culture does not know how to deal with grief, navigate through grief, how to work grief. And so what happens is for the people that stay, oh, it's a blessing. We can rejoice. We can thank God because we live in a culture where people are desensitized. They're ignorant. Ignorant is just the absence of knowledge. And there's a lot of ignorance. There's a lot of absence of knowledge as it relates to grief. I told you this story before, but it was one of the higher ups of Facebook. Her husband died. And when her husband died, her grief was so intense. And she was a policy maker, decision maker. Her grief was so intense, she looked at the policy for grief, and it was, 3 days or whatever the case may be. And she began to say, there's no way in the world that 3 days is going to enable me to come back and be able to do what I need to do. Right. And so from that, when she went through that and she became aware, I think they began to change the policies and put things in place to help people better navigate through grief in their life when they experience it. And that's what you got to know. We live in a culture that is ignorant. They don't understand. But as we continue to navigate and go through life, man, we can just pray for change and hope for change. Thank God for the people that do get it, for the people that can support, for the people that are there, because there's a lot of people, when it comes to grief, they have not a clue. Check this out. But still, we need people to listen to us and support us in our grief. That's right. Some people ain't going to be there. Some people, they want to ride in a limo. They don't want to take the bus. But y'all, we still need people to listen and support us in our grief. We can't do it alone. I guess we should be grateful for the handful of people we have who have climbed onto the bus with us and are willing to go along for the ride. Thank you, true friends, y'all. We have to be grateful and thankful for the ones that stayed. We got to be grateful and thankful for the true friends that we have. We got to be grateful and thankful for the ones that get it, and for the ones who are there and willing to be there and stay there. For the ones that did not leave, we have to have a gratefulness from our heart, right? Everybody's not going to stay, right? Everybody's not going to be with you through your seasons. Everybody's not going to navigate through this thing called grief with you. And so we have to thank God for the ones and don't be so quick to hate the ones that leave, right? It's just that their story and your chapter in your book, it may be over, right? They made a cameo appearance. They showed up for 3 chapters, 5 chapters, 20, 25, 30 chapters of your life, maybe. And now there's maybe their story, perhaps their part in the play, in the story has come to an end. So don't be so bitter and mad at the people that left, right? Especially don't be so bitter and mad at the people that left that you take for granted the ones that stayed, right? You want to continue to thank God for the ones that stayed, to be grateful and thankful for what you have, and focus, feed what feeds you. Focus your time, your energy, and your attention on, because those are the ones that God purposed to stay. Those are the ones that are there now. Those are the ones that are going to be pivotal or instrumental in helping you to navigate through this next season in life. So we got to have an attitude of gratitude. Look at this final thought for today. I understand why so few people seem to be able to support me in my grief, and I am grateful for those few who can. I understand why so few people seem to be able to support me in my grief, and I am grateful for those few who can. Today is day 203, y'all. Who gonna take the bus with me? Who gonna take the bus with me? Look, I hope you take this lesson, y'all. I hope you hide it in your heart. I hope it blessed you. I hope you really understand the premise of it all, right? Everybody ain't gonna stay. Everybody that starts with you is not gonna stay with you, right? Don't allow that to make you bitter, right? Just thank God, right? Thank God for the people that were willing to take the bus with you. Look, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr., I love y'all with the love of the Lord. I appreciate y'all. I hope and pray y'all have a sensational Saturday. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.